or back and reset. I'm trying to get in that no more troll, and they didn't feel confident. This should be an enhanced fire giant pull, though. Finally, that was, I mean, a beautiful bait, right? Father Tom steps up, gets out with 1 HP, but immediately streak step forward to try and peel. Falls down. That's all it took. You lose your on her for 3. I'm thinking that's a worthwhile trade. Does Angry step forward? No, he's heading over towards the Gold Fury. Probably the smart call. It looks like EFG will go down uncontested for no more trolling after 32 minutes.
Yep.
Hold that thought. I'm lying to you. Angry made an audible. He is walking over. Do they have time? Kha'Zix is here as well. They might go in for a steal.
They might. Spudio gets the Gold Fury for Procket. Enhanced Fire Giant still here. No more trolling. Has not been able to finish the objective. In fact, they drop it. Ducky has been at half health or less the last 3 minutes. I've seen him on the screen. It's going to go to 0. Adapting. Cleans up the kill. No more trolling Soul Later. And Kha'Zix steals the EFG. What a last couple moments here for Team Procket. And devastation on the map for no more trolling. You thought it was the easiest EFG of your life. You have 3 members dead for Procket. And it's all out the window. Exclamation point, Hail Mary in the chat, and Procket are right back in.
And Dave, you finally get to see that Ancient Fury effect. Look how creepy that looks, as she just haunts the objectives. You're not allowed to get hit by him. It does not matter. She is over every single Phoenix.
Crazy.
Procket. They can step forward right now into this bird. It's not going to attack them. That's the benefit of the Ancient Fury. She's haunting it, and they can just walk in.
Oh my god. It's like best case scenario for Procket. Yep. You get the Ancient Fury and the EFG, and you just stroll into the opposing base. The Titan can still do stuff, right? I mean,
yeah, the Titan can hit back.
You're real unlucky if he couldn't. Procket, are you going to overextend now? Oh no, they nearly get Theeks again. Man, a forgettable last couple minutes for no more trolling, and it may be the last couple minutes here in game 1. Procket have blown the doors off this game, but they don't have enough damage. They don't have enough streak up. Back from the fountain, April. It's an equation that works out, and no more trolling have stayed alive.
Are they running it down mid now? You got to try and get the reverse, and once Kha'Zix goes down, takes a bit. They have time to siege forward. Mid-late is their call. Do they have the damage now to go in for the end? Look at those respawn timers. They 45 seconds, 35 seconds for Angry. I mean, they're not going to get to that Phoenix until Angry spawns in, you would think, but they've got minions. Raffer's already sieging forward. This could definitely be the reverse end.
And I'm really splitting hairs here. Theeks is up in 19 seconds, has that Jingwei passive to get him a bit further down the map should the team choose to fight for that long. If Procket are back at respawning, you'll be back at full strength quickly here. We'll see what the call is. We've seen some interesting moments since the EFG finally got taken down.
Oh, I think it's taking too long.
Up with the damage, steps forward. You might think so, Trelly, but no
Angry's
more
here.
You not. Raffer is low. It's a respawn from Angry. Has plenty of damage. Cage is out. Angry's deleted. But the Titan's only down to half. The respawns are going to roll through now. Is there a leg in this game? No more trolling, able to flip the script. Oh, they didn't finish it. They didn't finish the win. Procket on the respawn. Now Theeks, what is he going to do? Is the Jing going to respawn and go back into this game? Procket might shove it down mid, but they're back on defense right now. Theeks has avoided the minion wave. But look, Adapting is back on defense, clearing the last couple of minions. And I wonder if Theeks realizes this is his only chance. There's too much health missing from there.
They have to know he's here.
And Theeks might just have to go in. He goes up and over. It's an airstrike.
He's got to go back.
He's got to run. Now you got to go back to base. Over in mid lane, Kha'Zix and Spud and company are walking into your base.
Oh,
Theeks.
that's it.
I think that's got to be the game here. It sure is. My goodness. Flip a coin, pick a color on the roulette wheel. That's how this one ends. But Procket, wow, they nearly lose it, but they come out on top.
My goodness, man, the minions. I'm not sure if he knew Adapting was there. Wow, what?
Let's go.
What an absolute banger of an end there. The reverse defense. I mean, Angry walks up, gets some damage off, immediately gets deleted. But unfortunately, you called it out. Theeks just could not get there in time. I mean, he spawned in, flew as quickly as he could, but was just not enough to get to the Titan, unfortunately. I like the call, too. You wanted to airstrike in, but just picked the wrong time to go for it. And, of course, The only way you ever lose that game is if Adapting and Ducky and Duduin don't just sit there and wait for someone at the Titan, right? So I don't think they were ever going to let him go for the sneak play. But regardless,
Wow.
fantastic base defenses on both sides.
Hey, I'm learning a lot, and I'm getting the vocal cords right back into it here in our game one of our best of 3 grand finals. And this one had a little bit of everything, Trey. I know that's sort of a cliche, but I mean, it felt like we had EFGs stolen away. Really that last Fire Giant, Ancient Fury, base defensive moment. It packed so much interaction in just a couple minutes, but it's an interaction that favors Procket. They're 1 game up in our best of 3 grand finals. No more trolling. Time to dust yourselves off and get back into it. Game 2 coming up next.
I've been trying to forget, but you won't let me. Something in my brain wants you. I've been hanging by myself, asking for help, but nothing seems to work on you. Yeah, you always make me feel like, yeah, you never leave my thoughts alone. Yeah, you're the reason. Looks a little something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Ay, this is what you call a bad bitch. What? This is what you call a bad bitch. Looks a little something like this. Looks a little bit like I can't miss. Ay. What? This is what you call a bad bitch.
Aprecie com moderação.
Procket are able to steal the show and steal a win away from No More Trolling here in game number 1 after a ridiculous series of events. Felt like we had a pretty standard first 30 or so minutes of this game, and then Trelly, it's sort of like a weird, it's an Ancient Fury EFG split,
Right.
but then No More Trolling get neither of them, and then Procket surely finishes the game off that, doesn't, and then everything just kind of breaks out from there. No More Trolling nearly win on the other side. They get wiped. Is there a clear missed opportunity in your mind in game 1 for No More Trolling where, okay, maybe, obviously hindsight being 2020, if we had done this instead, this would have been cleaner? Maybe around that Ancient Fury EFG split, or maybe a bit unlucky down the stretch with specific damage numbers.
Yeah, if I recall correctly, I would have loved to hear the comms from Procket, because Angry and Kha'Zix had spawned in. Spud was already on Ancient Fury, and it seemed like they were pathing towards Ancient Fury, and they were saying, let's just give it up. And then something flipped. Maybe it was Kha'Zix saying, I've got Sunder, like we have the ability to steal, just go. And then you see Angry and Kha'Zix go towards Fire Giant. Kha'Zix ends up stealing. I'm not 100% sure if DPS was halted, but you lose Ancient Fury, you lose Fire Giant, and then you lose the fight after the fact. Even that wasn't enough, right? Because the defense came through. There was a chance for the reverse end, but a fantastic base defense kept your Titan alive, and Procket is able to come through. So I'm not sure if it was a missed opportunity, more so maybe just a different play around that Fire Giant, and we could be looking at a different result.
Sure, either way, it's a game of razor-thin margins, but it's a margin that Procket are happy to have. They take game 1 of our best-of-3 grand finals in our 24/7 EMEA kickoff tournament. Picks and bans for game 2, just around the corner. Remember, we're rolling in the early days of Smite 2 here. We're rolling with 1 ban for both teams. In towards the end of Smite 1, Troy, when we had 100 and however many gods in the game, there was a lot of strategy around, all right, we emphasize differently in our 5 bans that we've got here. Now you sort of got one swing, and I think Loki, based on what Adapting did in game 1, it's a pretty decent swing here for No More Trolling.
Yeah, I don't mind the Loki being taken away. I mean, it's something that April was having some success on late. Adapting probably doesn't want to deal with that either. That's what I was talking about with the Susano, right? You don't have CC immunity, you get guaranteed stun, things like that. So not a bad takeaway. The Chalk is going to be banned once again, so we will not see that. There was some prio towards Bacchus, there was prio towards Neith, and of course the Jingwei. Bacchus is going to be grabbed this time. Seems like goes over to Raffer. It depends, I guess. You can play Bacchus in a few different roles as well, but means there's going to be no Athena going through, and Procket are going to pick up the Jingwei. That late game crit chance we saw popping off for Theeks is now going to be going over to the other side.
Jingwei plus Neith is an interesting combo here for Procket. Late game, get there, scale up, and you are going to shred. Now, a couple of things I felt like I kept saying, sort of a repeat statement in a lot of those late game fights, is just how much pressure ended up on Theeks. Felt like the beads, the escape, all of it just sort of felt perpetually on cooldown. But Procket had that initiation, so maybe No More Trolling able to match that. Susano, a good pickup, and if I'm remembering correctly, that's what Adapting was playing in game 1, not the Loki. Loki just banned because it's obnoxious. Susano plus Odin for No More Trolling Trelly. So you're able to take Adapting's pick away from him in the Susano, but then you go back to this Odin that it felt like Ducky / Father Tom had sort of some mixed success on in the first game. Yeah,
I think you gotta pick up Fenrir here if you're Procket. I can't imagine. I mean, Adapting is a fantastic Thanatos. So there's a possibility that is going to be the option. I really think I would prefer the Fenrir just because Adapting also has a fantastic Fenrir, and you're not lacking in damage, you're lacking in CC. The Athena pickup helps, of course. That's going to open up some doors for you, but I just think the Ragnarok would open more doors, and that's how Procket feels as well. They go ahead and lock that one in. Just more follow-up for the taunt, as well as, hey, maybe we can just hold someone in place while the carries are able to just wail away on them. So not a bad look. And the Zeus Odin. Zeus has been my second favorite mid laner so far in Smite 2. First being Hekate. Unfortunately, we have not seen her pick up. But Zeus, does not love the matchup into Fenrir, right? You're usually going to get Blink if you're on Zeus just to get you away from trouble, but Fenrir can chase you down no matter what. So you got to watch your positioning here. If you're ever taunted or picked up, scary stuff. And the Thanatos, maybe adapting does take the Thanatos. Either way, they needed CC and they found it, but they also have just, I mean, essentially 2 ways to get to that back line with the Fenrir and the Thanatos. Not a bad lineup at all, but seems a bit squishy. I think there's ways for Fenrir to get tanky. I do like what both teams have done here, though.
Yeah, this might shove Fenrir over towards that soul lane. Like the initiation from Procket here. I'm going to dive forward with 3 of my characters and let the 2 carries just swing away. Does that raise concerns about peel, though, Trelly? Or is the argument that you can use that initiation just in the other direction to peel out for your carries?
Well, the benefit here is your carries are actually pretty safe already. I mean, Jingwei has so much mobility, and Neith being able to just backflip away out of trouble over walls, things like that, definitely helps out. You are missing a bit of peel, of course, but think about the dive from No More Trolling. They have the Odin cage, they have the Susano being able to close gap, and Bacchus gets about a flop in because you're almost forced into Sunder, right? So I do think it's not going to be a Blink pickup. So the backline is not going to be easy to get to for No More Trolling. If they get value from the Odin cage, yes, but I think Procket don't really need that much peel. The engage was what they were lacking, and they were able to pick it up in the bottom 2 of the draft.
Yeah, I mean, the dream scenario, right, is like a massive Odin cage and then a huge Zeus ultimate right in the middle of the Odin cage, and Bacchus is belly flapping in. I mean, you write the script for a giant wombo combo, knockdown, drag out, single swing type fight. But these are players who have played around with these types of compositions a few times. That said, I still think Zeus is fun to watch. I know that it's sort of an obnoxious character rather to play against sometimes, but I like the potential that this pick brings to the table. It felt like Trelly, and if you think back to early game in game 1, now it ended up dragging out a little bit longer from like the early support invades that Kha'Zix was running and all of that.
Yep.
But that Bacchus really impacted the early game with some of those invades, setting the jungle a bit further behind for No More Trolling side. Now maybe we're just hoping to see that on the flip side. That's what Bacchus can be capable of in these types of games.
Yeah, and notably, another thing that we talked about in game number 1 is just, things you might notice differently from Smite 1, if that's the case. And Zeus, relatively similar. The one thing that you're going to notice is his second ability. He no longer throws a shield out for you to bounce chain lightning off of. It's more of an AoE. He kind of like punches up in the sky, gets movement speed, gets a charge off on anyone near him, and also gets attack speed. So he becomes much more lethal in close range fights as well, where usually Zeus, that was his biggest fear, right? People getting close to him. Now he has another way of sort of saying, get the heck away from me. I have plenty of damage to try and peel myself from you, which can definitely help out.
These best of 3s are a chess match. Let's see what the next move is. Game 2 of these grand finals starting right now between No More Trolling and Procket. After Procket, I mean, I guess sneak one away in game 1, but probably deserved to win with the way the last few moments went. But things got scary there for just a moment. All that to say, No More Trolling. We're never really out of it, not even until the final couple of seconds. We saw a trend established, Trelly, with the blinks in game 1. It's still there for Procket, but looks like No More Trolling following suit. We've got 8 blinks in our game and 2 Sunders.
Yeah, this is what I tend to expect, though, is the fact that Blink, as it works now, just gets you out of trouble more than Beads and Aegis would. As long as you can do it in combat, you're not worried about, Ragnarok. You're just going to blink away from it, that sort of thing. But you still will be able to get picked up. And one other thing that I forgot to mention, it's become second nature to me at this point because I've been playing so much Zeus, is he does have his 3 charge stun back. So he is able to stun you now when he detonates 3 charges. That's something you definitely have to watch out for, especially if you're worried about like a Fenrir Brutalize. That's something that he would never be able to cancel in Smite 1. He now has the access to that. So yeah, gotta watch out for the Ragnarok, yes, but can also just peel for himself with damage.
Wonder why he's your second favorite mid laner, Charlie. Sounds like he's pretty good. Also slightly annoying, maybe.
Oh yeah, I agree.
Remember, I mean, this is aggro we're talking about here. We were never going to let Zeus go by without a little bit of love going into Smite number 2. Keep your eyes on Raffer on this Bacchus. We set the stage for what could this Bacchus do? Well,
He's just following adapting.
yeah, he's just following adapting over on the right side of the map, roaming around. And I asked, I was like, oh, is it the fall around the jungler type of invade? And up to this point, it hasn't been, but maybe there's still some value to that type of play here from Raffer. Just keep adapting on the back foot, not going to open up with any of those camps. Losing a little health. And it looks like, I don't know whose red he got, but Bacchus, Raffer's got one of the reds. And clearly, Thanatos unhappy. Might actually win the damage trade, too. The worst case scenario for Adapt.
Together for so long, and he's just bullying him. Yeah. Raffer ignored the blue buff he was invading to chase down Adapting, and now Adapting's like, hey, can you guys rotate on this guy, please? He's just stalling him here. Raffer's like, I'm gonna run this way then. I got belly flop. There's no way you kill me. Oh, that's annoying. Adapting is not having a good start.
But, it's so often talked about with these invades. Of course it's annoying, but unless you get payoff. Oh, the blink needed. The minions nearly get the kill. Odin blinks back forward as well. And Father Tom just shy of a first blood. Talk about thin margins. Not looking good early on here for Kha'Zix. That's just a collapse in from no more trolling and first blood over to the Zeus.
Yeah, I mean there are ways. When plays like that are being made by Raffer, there are ways to look elsewhere for your farm. Hold that thought. Blink comes through. Another blink. Not enough damage, though. Unfortunately, the blink for the blink ends up not working out. But yes, there are ways. When Raffer is doing that, there are camps on the other side of the map that are open because he is doing that. So it's not as if Adapting had no options. The issue was he just let him follow him, right? He doesn't have a movement ability, so he's just gonna have to run away. Might be in a bit of trouble, though. Here comes the rotation. It actually flops forward. Detonate not going to do enough damage. But mid lane is where all the pressure is at for no more trolling because Bacchus is here. Raffer's just chilling in mid.
What's like the math equation of when invading and following the jungle feels worth it? Like, is there a clear line of if I can do X, then it's worth it?
I mean,
or is it just as long as you can waste time, you're not worried about falling behind in your own lane?
Yeah, because I was, there was a lot of discussion about this in Smite 1, and Mike was one of the biggest invaders. Polar Bear Mike was one of the biggest guys, and what he always said was, even if you die, it's worth it, right? Even if Raffer gets first blooded, you have made Adapting start so bad that he's not going to be able to get active for some time. That's the idea behind it. Already a scythe comes through. But Adapting has to worry about his teammates to get kills. That's kind of the issue. He has to play around his squad. He can't just go for ganks. He can't just solo camps because his early game was so bad. At least that's the idea.
Ultimate's hit over on the duo side. Nice impale. But Spudio still has ultimate, so an airstrike if things really get hairy. Man, it seems a bit more active over on the mid to right side this time. Seen some purple buff invades in the last couple games, and actually may see a 2v2 over on left as well. But first, we got a fight over on right. First Ragnarok of the game, but a double knockup from Raffer over the wall.
Oh, this nice.
Well, it's a cage from Ducky, but not enough. Doing puts Procket on the board. I thought something might break out here over on left as April has made their way over, but instead it's just the one kill. I liked the double knockup from Raffer. It looked good, but didn't make a difference at the end of the day.
Yep. Back to farming is the call. Love the aggression, though. That's what I was talking about. I think Adapting really wanted to get that last hit. Was not able to find it, though. Still sitting at level 4. Once you get Hovering Death, I think Thanatos is able to get so much more aggressive. Adapting confirms blue buff. Or Raffer blue buff, rather. You just have so much ability to move around as this Bacchus. So I'm paying attention to Raffer. He is playing essentially as a second jungler, right?
Yep.
Like he is roaming the map as much as possible whenever Sunder is available, using it to try and deny farm. Left side of the map, though, April is here. Not sure you have too much kill potential onto an Athena, but at least showing presence on this side of the map. Trying to play through streak. That might be the call. He had a fantastic performance in game number 1. Wasn't enough to get the dub, but was certainly a threat.
Yep. Absolutely was. First Desert Fury of the game. Tickled a little bit of damage onto Spud, but ultimately didn't do much after the fact. Warhorn rains out, and Trelly, this is sometimes we see this where, especially in a chaotic end to game 1, some of the more seasoned teams will really pump the brakes in the second game, and maybe it's a bit early in the first 5 minutes to be saying that's how everything's going to go here, but definitely has not been quite as chaotic as the first game was. I'm thinking about 3 or 4 near first bloods in the first handful of minutes of game number 1. All else seems to be standard here, though. Just waiting for Rapper to make the play. Could be a belly flop on a Jingwei here. However, Spud, of course, has airstrike. Sent out. Little damage. Belch will start things off. There's the airstrike. And I guess pulling that ultimate away is just worth it here for Rapper. Not going to see many more fireworks than that. And really, Charlie, maybe waiting for a few minutes for the first big fight to break out around one of these neutral objectives.
Yeah, and that's the thing about trying to camp Jingwei. Even if you pull airstrike, there's still a blink as well. It's not easy to. It's not as if Spud is out of options once that airstrike comes down. So I don't really see the point of trying to gank dual lane unless Streak is just getting the better end of the traits every single time. I understand wanting to play through the on her, but I'm probably looking elsewhere just because of how much safety is allotted to Spud at the moment. But if April's over there, gets some good damage off, hits the jet stream, there's definitely opportunity to try and find some aggression on the left side of the map. But I'm still looking towards solo lane, right? I mean, you have Father Tom, who's going to be just fine. Again, Blink could just come out here, so even if every single auto attack comes through, we're not fighting too much. But
whoa.
Oh my goodness, someone's coming through though, right?
Ooh, yeah, wow, the setup is in. There's your Blink, as well as an ultimate from Kha'Zix to maybe assist in keeping Spud on the map, but looked like he might have been A-okay anyway. So slight potential payoff for Rapper pulling away that airstrike, but didn't ultimately net any kills for the No More Trolling side. 3-man collapse though. Athena ultimate is down. Rapper lets out a Belch. Actually, doesn't look like it connected for a stun this time, so left running. But now Procket, an opportunity. Sends their jungler over towards left. Belly flop used by Rapper. Sends the ultimate towards a couple members of Procket, and up down goes adapting. Hand feeds a kill over to Spud. After all the dancing and posturing we had over on left, finally, one drops.
And it's not as if we're in a position to see a Gold Fury pull just yet, but Purple Buff Invade is trying to come through. Not gonna happen. Trying to get Spud online was the call. Spud already has kill number 1, so not a bad look. And of course, adapting. Would have loved to get one of those last hits. Every time I see him get another assist, you gotta feel bad just because of the way the game started. But farming better than April, so didn't let it affect him too much. That Jotun's Revenge start. Going for a little bit slower. I usually see the Teko Kagi first option. Oh, baby, the blink to avoid the knock-up. Definitely necessary. I think the damage might have been enough there from April to find a solo kill, so good call just to try and stay safe, and adapting gets to live to see another day.
We're starting to see that value, not only last game for adapting, but early in game 2 here for April. We and the other 2 casters today have already talked about Susano and the value that NA has put in this pick. The aggression alone, and even maybe a level down there, I couldn't quite remember, but at least even. April nearly has the damage for adapting, forces the blink away. Adapting a couple assists on the board here. Liked what I've seen from Thanatos today. Trelly in Smite 1. Thana was a bit more of a pocket niche pick. The old Samper Soccer triple double. Another assist, why not? Goodness, Rapper burnt down on the 3-man gank from Procket, but a whole lot of nothing answered with a whole lot of something here in game number 2. Nothing happens for a few minutes, and suddenly all at once the fighting. Whoa, stand and deliver, says Streak. Assists his jungler April and grabbing a kill onto Spud, and
wow.
Deep the tower goes another. Kha'Zix drops for the double kill, and no more trolling. Man, they're able to pick up a couple, and that returns the favor to Procket, who added 1 just a moment ago.
That is ridiculous, man. April hits the full ultimate on the runaway, hits the impale as well, and of course, April is able to go in and find that. I thought that Spud was going to play defensively, right? Use the airstrike, sort of stalled for Kha'Zix to land with that Defender of Olympus. and then they tried to get aggressive, and that's not what you want to do, especially towards a level 9, now level 10 on her. No, sorry, a level 11 now for Streak. That Desert Fury just was way too much damage. So fortunately, Spud learned that one the hard way. Probably not going to look to scrap any more over in duo lane. And now, I mean, game's still relatively even, but I think No More Trolling has an avenue to try and play through this on her, especially towards Gold Fury whenever they have like an inkling to go for it, because April gets the credit for the kills, yes, but Streak is level 11, already has some crit chance and is stacking up that Devos. Gonna be chunking for sure.
Yep, feels just fine. Have not seen the Fury pulled yet. We'll get to that point in the game. Zeus has some damage, and it's enough. Kha'Zix melted by No More Trolling in mid. Does that now spark one of these early objective pulls? Guess the Fury is all we could be talking about here. And there is slight posturing over towards left for No More Trolling. Speed buff pulled out. Rapper goes up and over. Get a stun, but Jingwei dealing a little bit of damage here as well. The mushroom drops. Helps sustain just a bit. Scythe and auto for Spud. A slightly messy moment for No More Trolling. What was a great opportunity. Ends up with a dropped support.
Wow, this one went over my head a bit, Dave. First item, Triton's Conch for Theeks.
Then
no, second item. Okay, goes Book of Thoth first, then Triton's Conch. Either way, more of an aura item. It's not necessarily an intelligence item. You do get intelligence, but I think of it more as like a tank star. The passive is going to give your teammates strength and intelligence, which of course Zeus is going to benefit from. But not a traditional start we see from the mid laner, so a little bit interesting. Already working out for him. I mean, Theeks 2-0, has that Book of Thoth, stacking it up nicely, already finished up. So there's going to be a lot of damage coming from this guy, but it'll also be pretty difficult to try and kill, and just being a walking buff for his squad.
And additional benefit, one of my favorite item icons in the game, little crab guy. I think may win out for me here in the early days of Smite. Up down, potential here for adapting. Who's his target? It's Rapper, but Spud's the one who snags it. Lightning Storm down. Adapting just doesn't have enough health to really go back into it. Real could have some turnaround, and this is who you need. You need your on her. You need Streak in these fights. I'll call it clean because no one died, but swift pickup here. Rapper falls to 0-4 on the Bacchus Trelly. We were singing his praises early here in game 1, annoying Adaptin, following him around the jungle. Unfortunately, that trend has not continued into the mid game.
Yeah, I'm thinking it was personal. Like, again, Adapting has gotten 0 of these kills, but he has been looking specifically at Rapper, right? That has been the attempted execute every single time. And I'm not saying it's all because of the invade, but it's got to be like a little bit, you know? Like, when you have a support that just follows you around at level 1, you got to try and look for a couple of kills towards them whenever you can fit them in. 5 assists, though, that's got to be annoying, man. When I'm playing jungle, I want to get every last hit possible, and that is just not happening so far. Still incredibly impactful, and giving your kills over to Spud or giving them over to Duin, giving them to Angry, these are not bad things. It's just, imagine what Adapting could be doing if he was 5-0 right now. You know, like that Thanatos would be an absolute monster.
This one really rubbed off on you, didn't he, Trelly? I mean, for all those years casting with him, you get the jungle mindset imparted in you.
All right, that's an Adapting diff more so than it's a jungle diff, but you know, I just don't. I would rather do many things than give Mifflin credit. You know, like that's just not the top of my mindset.
You're right. That was very Mifflin-esque. I want all the kills and I need them, but it is a good point, especially when you're playing jungle. Procket with those 5 assists on Adapting. Adapting does get the last hit onto the Gold Fury. First of the game for either team. Procket has stabilized a bit here, Trelly, where looks like Aprio might just be able to spin it out of control with the help of Theeks and a lot of damage from Streak, but not the case in the last couple minutes of this game. Find the opening, Fire Giant will spawn, but the pace is any indicator, likely not fought over here immediately. Uh-oh, danger in the mid lane. A World Weaver, who's it for?
Top is up.
Back in the pocket. No, it's not. It's in. And it's on to Zeus and a Ragnarok. Oh, no, it brings Theek right back into the waiting arms of Angry. But Theeks from the grave flips the script onto the Thanatos, but look at those health bars for Procket, just melted through by No More Trolling. You'd love to finish off any of these kills, but you can't do so if you're No More Trolling, unless you're belly flopping in. Raffer, please get something. No, that's devastating. It's heartbreaking. You couldn't have written it any worse for No More Trolling. Procket able to find the 1 kill advantage in this scrap.
Yeah, Raffer with ultimate there is thinking like a double kill, maybe even a triple kill. Raffer with no ult, unfortunately, finds nothing. 0-5-3, not able to pick up those kills. After Procket already grabs the Gold Fury as well, and it looks like able to pull the Queen. So just trying to get as much gold in their pockets. Almost said Prockets, didn't love that, as possible. But you gotta pay attention as well to the Ragnarok blinks. You think you're out of position already when you get Ragnarok, but you can blink while you're holding someone and just pull them even closer towards your team. Shouts out to Theeks, though, being able to make something of a bad situation. Just drop the ult and say, hey, I'm doing as much damage as possible before I die. Might try it again. 1 HP, is the sight there?
Yeah, I think he swung it, but the sustain from the mushroom delayed the inevitable. And up and over goes Adapting. And that is Adapting's first kill of the game. So
my goodness.
Finally grabs 1 after assisting in 6 of the 8. 7 out of 8 affected here by Adapting. How much trouble is Kha'Zix in, though? A little bit, just not much damage. Where is it? Who's gonna damage him? There we go. Father Tom. The last little bit of burst, and there was an April just around the corner. Troy, it's a really good point.
He found him!
Blinks. Oh no, into the brush! Angry hand delivered a kill by his solo laner. But Charlie, it's a really good point, especially with the blink and the changes, and not only us as casters kind of having to relearn some of those interactions. A lot of the times we talked about, they're damaging him, so he can't blink out. So, we kind of got to learn those interactions. But players are so used to, I don't know how many years ago the change went in, but for years playing Smite 1 with no combat blink. Yeah. Relearning that reflex is not an easy thing to do.
No, definitely not. It's one of those things that if you played Smite and it's very early days, it's infancy, you'll remember combat blink. It was picked up for a bit until it became like the mainstay relic, and that's when it was nerfed and removed. So I'm not sure that it's even going to be. I'm not sure it's muscle memory for anyone at that point, right? Because it's only like if you played for season 1 and then jumped into Smite 2. That'd be the only way that you're like, this feels natural to me. But once you get to see all the fun interactions with it, that's when you get to see the real interest. Fire Giant started up, Rocket going for it. It looks like this is immediately sought out. You gotta watch out for Theek's damage. They get it immediately.
Kha'Zix immediately confirms EFG for his team. Up down will get the assassination for Adapting. A belch out from Raffer. Wow. This game, Charlie, has just gone out of control for No More Trolling. They were competitive for the most part. An 18.5-minute Fire Giant and 2 more deaths. Procket have just found this opening. Maybe No More Trolling, a bit of sleep at the wheel. Maybe trolling a little bit. And Procket kind of blow the doors off things here as we start to approach the late game.
And that's what I wanted to talk to you about. When you get the Queen this early, there are plays that can be made. Fire Giant, right when it spawns in, can be blown up. And it seems like that was something Procket tried to exploit, and they did. They went for it immediately. Kha'Zix had the Sunder, which does just true damage immediately. The Tier 2 tower is the call. Theeks showing up and trying to help the carry. Wonder if they will see an engage or just try and stay back. With ultimates down, doesn't look like the greatest call. I bet you once Adapting gets that execute, though, we might see an engage. In goes Raffer just to try and defend, but he's gone already.
Oh, man, another insta-kill for Procket. Same thing happened a moment ago. Is there a hovering death? Sure is. Hello and goodbye, says Adapting. Streak gone, but Adapting trades out his life. Is it worth it? Procket will let us know here in just a moment. Duduin finishes off the kill onto April, and the dominoes beginning to fall. It's Theeks and Father Tom left alive on the defense. Gone. Father Tom, Ducky, he'll fall. There's a World Weaver waiting for Theeks as well, but the target instead is the Phoenix. But, well, now Duduin didn't get the memo. Theeks at least able to pull 1 kill back, but more importantly, that mid lane Phoenix is gone.
Man, yeah, Theeks just does so much damage. This is an interesting build. The Triton's Conch kind of by surprise, but that Soul Reaver getting full value from already. Gold Fury started up here for Procket. They grab the mid bird. I'll be able to put some more gold in their pockets before going back to base. And you got to look at the power spikes that No More Trolling is trying to catch up to, right? That is the big difference maker here. Can you match the build path? Can you match the itemization? April at the moment is saying no, 2 levels down. That's rough. But more specifically, I mean, Raffer 0-8 has just been able to go in, get an ult off, and die every single time. There's no way that you're not getting executed, or at least CC chained into a death, even without the execute being used. It's just a tough game to be Bacchus and be this far behind, itemization-wise. You'd like to be a lot tankier at this point in the game. And it's not as if Kha'Zix is that much tankier, but Kha'Zix has a fed team behind him that is able to supply DPS behind his CC, whereas Raffer kind of goes in, goes, hey guys, did you get him? And they're like, we did our best. You know, we don't have the damage that the enemy team has, so we can't match that. Just a difficult time to be a Bacchus.
Kha'Zix has a ring, which I think is fun on the Athena. We'll see. It's fun. Up goes Adapting.
Oh, he's getting
And
chased
down
though.
goes Adapting, but this is pulling No More Trolling out. I mean, not gonna catch up to this Thanatos. Instead, in the meantime, a tier 2 tower melted through. The backs are gonna roll in, but how much damage is gonna get dealt to this Phoenix in the meantime? Maybe just an opening bit. All right, not the most devastating. I guess you got to try to make the plays when you got them there, Trelly, but Adapting was always going to be hard to chase down. And unfortunately, that tier 2 dropping means No More Trolling fall just a bit more gold behind. Maybe that's the type of swing you're going to have to expect, though, from a team that's in the state they are.
Yeah, Adapting had red and blue, but no speed. Bro's taking buffs from everyone, but can't pick up his own, and was still that fast. So he can get even quicker when given the opportunity. It looks like we're going to be sitting around until next Fire Giant day. That's probably going to be the call. Unlike last Fire Giant, though, Procket's going to have about a 10,000 gold lead when this one comes through. Things to keep note of, the fact that Raffer still does have Sunder. He could get in and try and go for a steal. Kha'Zix has it as well, so you will be trying to contest with the Athena. His father Tom being looked at, blinks out just to make sure he doesn't get caught out before the Fire Giant is pulled. But World Weaver, are we going to see a Ragnarok here? I don't know if you can catch him. There's a wall there, buddy.
Oh, no, he runs face first into the wall. And finally, a good moment for No More Trolling and Father Tom, as they'll have to watch Doo and scurry away, glowing gold and looking for a target, but no target arrives. So an opportunity, though, to burn down a tier 2 tower on mid lane for No More Trolling. Fire Giant now respawns. Bit of a split map for No More Trolling. Procket grouped up outside of Adapting, who's hoping to catch it back, but just shy of being able to do so over in mid. Scary moments for April, though. You have got a Fenrir running at you from the front, and you're going to have Adapting right behind you. Teleport. Uh-oh, it's gone. Adapting, slow, burn, damage, brutalize, blink, all of it. At this point, you spent the execute, though. 2 players' times expended over on left for 1 kill. But in the meantime, they'll be able to rejoin their team. Procket are starting to group themselves up around the FG.
Yeah, just teleport right over. Not a problem there. No More Trolling. Step forward. It was almost like they wanted to go for Fire Giant, but now Raffer's getting blown up before it even starts. Does some good damage, but it's not enough.
No, hasn't been enough for the last few minutes of this game. You're hoping Feek's gonna get something done. Blink's traded, but my goodness, Spud stays alive longer than No More Trolling expected. And now, unfortunately, it's Shriek's turn to go down. Procket just too far ahead. Good moments from No More Trolling, but better ones from Procket.
They were trying to go for the end, then they retreated. They couldn't decide what they wanted. Fire Giant, definitely the play.